Hey, Marc, Millan here. Thank you for letting me be a part of your day. I wanted to talk a little bit today about how to deal with discouragement. Dealing with discouragement is something that no matter how much I've tried to avoid, it keeps coming back. I've learned over the years that it's just going to be part of the journey for me, not only as a leader in ministry, but also as a worship leader. And I think if you're a worship leader or you're part of a worship team, you've gone through this somehow, some way. All of us are bringing our gifts to the table. All of us are bringing our best, not only to the Lord, but to our teams and to our services and to the things we're engaging our hearts with. And every time we do that, we kind of have to open ourselves to be vulnerable in a way. And being vulnerable, means that stuff can kind of hurt us on the inside. So dealing with discouragement has been part of my journey for quite a while. Now, I'm not sure what your love languages are. For me, I'm a words of affirmation person, and I'm also a quality time person. So words kind of stick with me a little bit longer if I'm not careful, and I have to find ways to process them, and I have to find ways to get over them. I do believe that by the grace of God and by the strength and the comfort of the Holy Spirit, you and I can walk through discouragement and continue to walk in faith, in joy, and in peace, despite the things that sometimes that can bring us down or slow us down. So dealing with discouragement, here's three things I do in dealing with discouragement. Number one, this is something I discovered a little over a year ago. Number one is called P.E.W. P.E.W. It stands for Purge Emotional Writing. Purge Emotional Writing. I heard about it from someone who was seeing a therapist, and it intrigued me because I am a writer. For some of us, maybe we are painters or we write songs. Some of us, we write poems. We find a way to express emotions. But P.E.W., Purge Emotional Writing, is a way for the person to process what they're feeling in the moment and get it out of their thinking. That's the big thing. I think when we are walking through discouragement, the scriptures teach us that to keep our minds fixed on Him, right? Our thoughts, whatsoever is pure, whatsoever is noble. So the scriptures and the Bible teaches us where to put our focus of our mind, but all of these thoughts happen all the time. And where do they go? How do we process them? So the first way I've learned to deal with discouragement when it's really slowing me down and really getting me down is to do what I call Purge Emotional Writing. And this is pretty much how it works. You can try this. You can try a form of this, but I'd give it a test. What you want to do is you want to get a book, a journal, and you want to set a time. For me, I did it at night. It was easier for me to do it before I go to bed. This way I could just let all of my thoughts run and then go right to sleep, wake up the next morning kind of with a clean page, right? You want to write straight for about 8 minutes. Like I said, you can do that for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, but you want to set a timer. I would not do it for 1 or 2. Give yourself time. I did realize that when I put it for 8 minutes, I was able to write a page about this length, probably both sides of the pages. Took me close to that time. What you also want to make sure is that you just write straight. There's no thought to it. There's no organizational thought. You're just writing raw emotions onto a page. Think about it this way. It's like sending the email you would like to send, or telling the person what you would like to say without sending the email and without saying it. Okay, so it's a way for you to kind of get out of your system what's going on in your head, put it on a page. You want to write straight, no stopping. It doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't have to be a paragraph. It doesn't have to have a beginning, a middle, or an end. It doesn't have to stay on one topic. The only thing that's necessary is that you are writing what you are feeling continually until the timer clicks. When the timer goes off, for me it was 8 minutes, you take the page, you rip it out, you crumple it up, and you throw it in the trash. And that's all you do. And you do that same thing for 12 days. So you write what you're feeling emotionally onto a page for 8 minutes straight, and you do that for 12 days. After you've written the page, you throw it out. And after 12 days, you should have kind of cleared out the closet in a sense. That has helped me. I don't do it all the time, but when I feel I'm really getting stuck with something, I will always go back to what I call Purge emotional writing. So that's number one. Number two, talk it out with someone that you trust. And I'm not talking about, I'm not encouraging you to kind of begin some sort of gossip, but talk out what you are feeling. It's not about discussing how you feel about a person or what a person did to you, but talk about what you are feeling in that season with a person that you trust and a person who has the ability to show empathy. And empathy is the ability to kind of live with you in the emotion. That's what you want. You definitely don't want to open yourself up to someone who doesn't know how to practice empathy. They might sound crushing to you. They might just want to solve the problem for you. That's not what can help. But number two, I would suggest is talk it out with someone who knows enough about you and knows enough about your calling and your character and can really be there to kind of sit in the emotions with you and just help you look at it together. That's the important thing. You want to get another person that you trust to look at what you're feeling and sensing, and maybe they can help you ask questions that perhaps you haven't been able to ask yourself up till now. And then the third one, and this might sound silly, but it has really been something I've been practicing a lot, and that is what I would call recreation, not recreation. I'm taking a twist on the word recreation. Do something fun that gets you away from what you're focused on. And for me, my role is kind of every 7 days. Every 7 days we've got a new service coming up. Every 7 days there's another set list. There's potentially another group of team members that I'm leading. And so every 7 days it's kind of like I'm in that zone. And so whatever I do to get prepared for my work in ministry, those are the things that are constantly spinning in my mind. So I've been trying to get to do things that take me out of that environment, stuff that causes me not to think about it. It just kind of pulls me away. Maybe that's a good movie. Maybe you go for a swim. Maybe you go for a bike ride. Something that I would call is recreational in nature, right? It allows you to just kind of enjoy life. It allows you to do something fun. It engages your mind and your body, but not in a way that's tethered to work. For me, I like to call it recreation because what it's been doing is it's been recreating a new perspective when I come back into the work. And that's why I list it as number 3. When you're feeling or dealing with discouragement, make sure you've made time to do something that you really enjoy doing. Because the first thing we do, I think, when we get busy or when we have a lot of things to do is we cut out all the things we love to do to go tackle the work. And what that actually does is our brain has not had a chance to kind of get the full circle of what it normally gets, right? So all of its energy is going towards these stressors or these triggers around work. And so you've got to kind of reincorporate. Maybe your schedule doesn't allow you to do something completely, but I would just encourage you, take time, right? I live in Florida, so for me, if I can't go swimming for an hour, I'll swim for 10 minutes. I'll just jump in the water for 10 minutes, swim like a fish, and then get back out and go back to whatever I was doing. It just allows me to get out of that mode of where my brain is so fixed and focused in tackling the work, and it allows my chemicals in my brain, my emotional state, to be recreated. And when I jump back into work, I see it a little bit more clearly. It could be a walk. It could be as simple as that. So I'll go through them again. Number 1, purge emotional writing. If you want, give that a try. Number 2, talk it out with someone that you trust. And then number 3, do something that's recreational to recreate that new perspective for what you're doing. Man, I really hope that you do have people around you that can comfort you and strengthen you. That's a big key to getting over discouragement. I know what it's like to go through it, so I empathize with you, and I pray that the Lord would guide you and lead you through that. Whatever season you're in, I pray He can guide you and lead you forward in His grace. From my heart to yours. Until next time.